Hey y'all, Steph here from SouthernSkyTNgardenDIY. So I am not very camera ready today, but I was trying to preserve the harvest still, doing some more pickling and water bath canning, and I just wanted to pop in another video here to show you what I was doing, and I'm trying to learn and do things correctly. So this time what I'm canning right now is some cucumbers from the garden. I have yellow cucumber kind of dispersed, and I have 4 jars going, but I have yellow cucumber dispersed through the jars, Space Master and pickling and Market More cucumbers I had growing out there, so it's just sort of a mishmash of everything. And then from the garden, I also have some red pepper in here and some jalapenos that I was growing. So I also added some red onions, and then I have pickling spice and 2 bay leaves approximately in each jar, and red onions, and we are going to can these up. And I'm not gonna break a jar this time. So if you saw me in my last video I did on canning, it was my first time doing it, and I broke a jar. So I was using boiling water, cool jars, doing all the wrong things. So this time I've kind of learned my lesson, and I'm trying it again and doing it live on camera. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so I've already filled these 2 jars up. They look delicious. Oh my gosh, nothing just so much prettier. Look at the size of those cucumbers though. I said to kind of quarter them, but I decided to slice them anyway. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they're good. But I'm going to ladle the rest of my mixture in. And I already had this one a little full. And I think that's about 1/2 inch headspace there. Yeah, okay. I might just siphon a little off. Oh, made a mess, but oh well. All right, better safe than sorry. I don't want anything to blow up again. Okay. Well, we didn't have a blow up, but we did have a big pop, and fruit started floating to the top. And actually it wasn't my pickles, because I just quick pickled those. The video was when I'm doing nectarines and pears, so I lost a jar of my pears. All right, but we're gonna do better this time. All right, I've got my 1/2 inch headspace, and I'm going to debubble here. So I skipped all the chopping of the veggies for this video because, you know, everybody sees that, does that. So just wanted to document this time that I have a successful batch with no broken jars. And I already debubbled these, but I'm just gonna stick it in again. And I use my handy dandy meat masher, if you remember that part from another video I did on the quick pickling. But I really like this tool just to kind of mash things down. It fits in the wide mouth perfect. Gets everything mixed in for you. This one is like pretty full. All right, I love it. Okay, and just make sure. I'm not seeing any bubbles come up this time. I think we're pretty good. Okay, yeah. All right. So now we're going to seal up the jars, fingertip tight. And my brine, just to let you know, consists of 1/2 vinegar, 1/2 water. And so I had to do about 1.5 quarts for these jars, and distilled white vinegar. And then I added about 1/2 cup of salt and 3/4 cups of sugar. So that's what we did. And get these fingertip tight. And I had already cleaned my jars. Oh, we better, no. Sorry, see y'all, this is what I'm doing. I always rush. Let me get a paper towel real quick. And wipe off my lids. I had cleaned the lids, but then this is like the step that I always forget. Please comment if you just ever forget to do this. This is just really crucial to the sealing of the jars, and you don't really want anything on those rims. And when I was dealing with all this pickling spice, you never know what's going to end up on the rim. So, be extra careful here. All right, there we go, see? Wipe that down. All right. You know, it's a learning experience. I'm gonna get better. Someday I'll be an old pro, or I'll just be old. Oh my, okay. Used to correct myself up. All right. So get those all wiped down. There you go. Now, we're doing a fingertip type seal. And I've learned now, after watching and reading some other videos and books that I have for canning, is if your rings are loose when they come out of the canner, it's fine. So it's let some oxygen out, and your lids are gonna seal up. So, all right, I'm gonna move them over to the canning area and share with you the rest of the process. Okay, so I am following, by the way, the Ball Blue Book Guide to Preserving, and I was using the recipe for the dill pickles on page 75, and a little bit combo of the kosher style pickles, because that's where I added the bay leaves in there and got that idea from. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do that. So we are going to boil or can these for let's see here. Cover to 1 inch, boil high, cover canner, bring to a rolling boil. Process a pint or quart jar, and I'm doing quarts, for 15 minutes. So there you go. Let's get these babies in here. So far, I haven't had much of an issue of putting them in the canner. It's getting them out. It's a little scary sometimes for me. But I will get better at it. And okay, well, with me, it's always something. At least I can provide comedy on this channel. So my rack went down. That's what I really struggle with a lot, is this darn rack and how you get things to balance out, and the fact that my microwave is sometimes in my way and throws me a little off. Okay. And that's what I was commenting on, the fact when I go to take the jars out is a little bit of a struggle, but I've got to start raising my rack to get them out. So let me know, y'all, if you struggle with things like this. And the water is at a simmer, so we're hoping not to crack any jars this time. Got them all in there, and we're going to be lowering them down. All right, y'all, I'm gonna raise the fire up a little here and bring them to a boil, and follow up with the next steps of the process. All right, y'all, well, I had another casualty. I had one break again. Y'all, I need help. I need a class. And I watched so many videos on this, but I need to watch more. But I'm still putting this out into the world to document what I'm doing and document my progress, because one day I'm going to get this down. And I'm also putting it out there for community. And if you can have any kind and helpful comments, please do. I mean, maybe my jars just were not hot enough again, but that is a struggle, because I was dealing with heating up the jars and then trying to get them into the pot. And I don't know, I wonder what you all are doing. So if you have any feedback on that, let me know. And of course, I'm going to watch some other videos and other YouTubers that have a lot of experience with canning on what they do to heat up the jars. But it did say in the instructions, you know, put the vegetable mixture in a hot jar, but they were probably still a little cool by the time I ended up getting all the vegetables in and everything ready. So let me know how you all do that. But yes, again, it broke right at the bottom. I knew I heard a small tiny pop, but I was hoping I didn't hear it. I was in denial. And then sure enough, a couple of minutes into the boiling, the jar popped up and my stuff was floating all over the place. So I've already now raised my rack up, and even that's a little bit of a struggle. I used 2 spoons on the handle. I took one on each side and raised it up, and you know, still I struggle with getting my rack up and not burning myself. So I wonder how y'all do that. Let me turn this around here. Way. Or, you know, do I ever just like maybe lift the whole rack up and put it on on the towel? I mean, this is why they sell these little gadgets here, because they show you like not to do that. But still, it's a bit precarious every time I go to take them out. But it looks like these, you know, came out okay. I'll know when I do the turn test tomorrow. It's already about almost 4 o'clock here, so I'm just gonna let them set out all night, because you're supposed to let them set out for 12 hours. And I will of course film the outcome, and hopefully they turn out okay and all seal up nicely, and I'm not gonna touch them. I'm just gonna wipe the seeds off a little bit, and the garlic that came out and everything else. But otherwise, I'm hoping they come out and I can show you a good turn test tomorrow. So we'll see y'all then. Oh, very quickly, before we're not at tomorrow yet, we're still now. I did want to add in that if I didn't point it out, I did only have the water simmering. So I did not add them to the boiling water, but it had been simmering for quite a while because I was getting everything ready. But I just wanted to add that out in there to, you know, help with any comments you might make, and ask, did you put it into boiling water again? I'm like, no, I did not. So I don't know. I think the jar is just still too cool when I go to do it. So, and yep, the mixture is hot. So I don't know. But anyway, any feedback is appreciated, and then I will see you tomorrow for sure. So hey y'all, Steph back. It has been more than 12 hours actually, but we are going to do the turn test on the pickles. So the cucumbers that I did here and pickled. All right, I've got them labeled, so let's hope everything comes out okay. I'm gonna undo my rings, and there you go. Let's go with God on this. All right, we've got a good seal. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm going to enjoy these. Yep, a good seal. There you go, y'all. Excellent, excellent. Okay, got a little nervous. Okay, good seal. All right. Okay, so it all turned out good, and I only lost one in the process. But you know what? As I was putting my canner away and cleaning it, I realized that my rack is down at the bottom of the pan, and you're supposed to leave like a little bit of space in between, you know, the bottom of the pot and the jar. So with the rack that I have, it brings it like right down to the bottom. So I think I'm going to start doing that, where I have like, you know, rings that aren't like 100% anymore. Maybe they have a little like rust or whatever on them, but they're not like 100%, where I wouldn't want to really use them all the time. But those rings that are getting spent, I'm going to start putting that at the bottom of my canning pot, and then put the rack in and see if that helps, because they're getting, now I forget the term, but when they break at the bottom, it's because they're getting the heat at the bottom. It's like thermal combustion or something like that, I think it's called. You all can correct me, please feel free. Kind and honest comments, always welcome. So, but maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. But I mean, sometimes I hear a pop right when I put them in. But then again, they're also sitting right at the bottom without maybe some additional space in between the bottom of the pot and the bottom of the jar. So I'm going to see if that helps. But again, I am going to follow up with another video where I did some tomatoes in pint jars and not a single one cracked. And I did warm up those jars in the simmering water in the pot before I put them in. The quart jars, I find, are a little harder to handle. I mean, I'm trying to warm them up in the water, and I even watched a couple of videos and everyone's saying, you know, yeah, warm them up, and they do get a little tricky. But I'm really afraid I'm like gonna, you know, scald my fingertips or something, being able to handle them correctly. So if you all have any tips for that, let me know. I was using a long prong, almost like a burger flipper, you know, type thing, the tongs, trying to say. I was using the tongs to try and handle the jars, trying to get them out of the water, along with a silicone mitt, and that seems to help. But it's still a little tricky, and I still worry about that hot water splashing all over my hands and arms. So please let me know how you all handle that, and because I think that is the trick. I'm getting broken jars because it's having thermal shock. That's it. It's thermal shock. And of course, you know, it's because it's a cooler jar or not hot enough jar hitting the hot water. So anyway, I'm learning. I appreciate you all following along. And again, any kind and helpful tips, welcome. Always, always. That's why I'm putting myself out here. But I'm glad that these 3 turned out, and I have another delicious addition to my canning this season, and very happy that I can be preserving these and enjoy them even sometime, you know, in the fall or later in the winter when I'm craving some of my fresh cucumbers from the garden. I can now have them. So just keep growing, y'all, and just enjoy and keep expanding your knowledge of what you're doing, and please share. So again, keep growing, y'all.